This is KGW News at Sunrise.
It's 6 o'clock and we start with a live look outside. It is calm right now, but it's not going to stay that way for long. Another round of snow is on the way, and the timing of today's storm causing some concern that we could be in for a repeat in some way, shape, or form of last winter.
And speaking of that, do you remember this? This is video from January of last year. That huge snowstorm during the evening commute brought the city to a standstill. It took people hours, in some places 10 hours, to get home. The traffic map around the area you see here was just lit up in red.
Today, the heaviest snowfall is expected to fall during our afternoon commute again. Not to say that we're going to get as much snow as we got a year ago during that time, but yes, the timing will be similar. We have team coverage, of course, today.
Yes, we do. We're starting off with meteorologist Rod Hill. So how much snow exactly are you expecting?
Right now, we've got downtown Portland in that potential 2 to 4 inch category. And as you mentioned, with the heaviest snow rates potentially during the drive home, we're doing all we can to tell you it's a good day to plead with the boss to get out of the office early and maybe not be on the roads, but actually be back home no later than 3 o'clock this afternoon, or maybe play it completely safe and head home after lunch. Maybe just take a long lunch and don't even tell the boss you're not coming back. All right, here we go. We have light snow and flurries on the radar this morning. Our weather headline, a winter weather advisory. This is picking up snow in terms of accumulation this afternoon and this evening. Not much to the north of Portland, maybe just flurries up in Kelso. But Portland down into Salem, we think there'll be 2 to 3, 4, 5 inch amounts, and putting downtown Portland kind of in the northern edge of what could be 2 to 4 inches. Right now, weather-wise, we're at 32 degrees, and at the bus stop we go. Flurries out the door. Snow could be picking up about the time the kids get out of school. And with that said, here's Chris McGinnis.
Well, so far, mostly so good on the freeway drive, Rod. We've got the normal slow spots, right? I-5 out of Clark County starting to bunch up at the Interstate Bridge. We expect that this hour of a Tuesday morning commute, so nothing out of the ordinary there. We'll switch gears real quick and take you, where are we going? Behind door number 3 should be the Banfield near the Lloyd District. Getting busier, but so far, no major freeway trouble out there just yet. We are off to a pretty good start, guys.
Thank you, Chris. The weather is affecting schools. We have just one closure this morning, and it is the Oregon Trail School District. Other districts are opening late. Corbett, Washougal, and Mount Pleasant districts, they are opening 2 hours late, and the Colton School District is on a 3-hour delay. Some buses are also on snow routes this morning. The full list is scrolling at the bottom of your screen this morning. You can also find it on KGW.com and the KGW News app.
Emergency warming shelters are open right now. Homeless advocates are trying to get as many people off the streets as possible. KGW's Tim Gordon is live in Southwest Portland at one of these shelters. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Ashley. We're at Imago Dei Community Church, and they've got their shelter up and running. It closes at 7 a.m., but you can see people are already up and at 'em here outside, but their gym has been filled with homeless people overnight. There are about 1,700 homeless folks in Portland. Advocates expect about 300 people to have come in overnight to these shelters, and they hope more folks will take advantage of emergency shelters during the freezing days to come. It can be life-saving.
On really cold nights, a lot of them are not going to be in a good position to weather that evening.
And it's nice that places can take you in when the weather's cold, you know.
And we know there are some of Portland's homeless who don't want to come inside for various reasons, but for those who do, nobody will be turned away from an emergency overnight shelter. Now, Transition Projects runs Imago Dei Shelter, also at Bud Clark Commons in Northwest, and the Sunrise Center, which is out east in Gresham. And there are others as well. Back here live, you can see folks are up and going this morning from the shelter here at Imago Dei. 211 is the number to call if you need help, or if you know someone who does need help, or if you can help out the homeless crisis here in Portland. 211 for all the information. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim. PBOT says it's prepared to use both de-icer and salt over the next few days to help people get around. Yesterday, crews used salt for the very first time this year on icy areas of Skyline, West Burnside, and Germantown Road. There's actually a way for you to see which roads PBOT crews have treated in real time. They have a map online with the location of all the de-icing and plow trucks. And if you take TriMet, be prepared for changes in bus routes if the roads get slick. On the Max, TriMet says they expect everything to go smoothly.
We do have other heating equipment on the switches on the trackway to help keep things clear. So far, so good for Max.
Our website is a great resource. Go to kgw.com, where we have posted links to important information that could help you today during your commute.
A Vancouver school is on high alert this morning after a student made some troubling comments. Hudson Bay High School sent an email to families telling them extra security will be on campus today. The principal says the comments were not made recently, but other students reported the remarks during a classroom discussion about the deadly Florida school shooting last week. No word on what happened to the student who made those comments.
A Hillsborough family will have to find somewhere else to stay after their home caught fire last night. Officials tell us it started on Southeast Ariel Street around 9:40. As you can see from this picture, most of the damage was to the outside of the home. We're told one person was inside when it happened, but they did get out safely. No word on what caused the fire.
Then skier Loren Ross will have another chance to medal tonight at the Olympics. She posted this picture on Instagram announcing that she's going to compete in the downhill. Ross is actually taking the spot from Michaela Schifrin, who dropped out of the race, and it's still a packed field. Ross will go up against arguably the greatest women's skier of all time. That, of course, is Lindsey Vonn. You can watch that race tonight in prime time right here on KGW. Also in prime time tonight, the men's big air snowboarding qualification. And we also have, in figure skating, the ladies' short program.
Can't wait to see that. You know, people from all over the world are in South Korea right now to watch the Olympic Games, and some of them are Portlanders.
We have Cassidy Quinn, of course, in South Korea, where she's been for the last couple of weeks. And Cassidy, I was going to say that you ran into a college student from Portland, but I guess she actually found you.
Yeah, so Twitter, Twitter is just wonderful. You guys know I love Twitter. I love the internet. And sometimes that actually finds you wonderful stories to cover when you are 17 hours of a time difference across the world in South Korea. So Jessica McClory found me on Twitter. She reached out. She said, hey, I'm here. I actually go to college in Seoul, and I've taken the 2-hour train into Pyeongchang to watch the Olympics. And so she's a freshman here, like I said, at college in Seoul. So she's been here a few months. She still has 3.5 more years to spend here. And she told me she thinks everyone watching at home should come spend some time here too.
Portland is an amazing place. I mean, everyone should feel really lucky living in Portland. But as Portlanders, we need to come and spread the love and go to different places. I think everybody needs to come and visit South Korea. Let me tell you, it's not dangerous at all. It's one of the safest countries in the world. People always ask me, oh, are you going to South Korea or North Korea? People here really don't care about North Korea. They're not worried about anything like Americans are. Americans are 10 times more worried about North Korea than South Koreans are, and so I really don't want fear to keep people from coming over here and experiencing just something so awesome.
The Olympics.
And I will say it has been awesome being here, obviously, during the Olympics, but I only have a few more days left here. And when I get on the plane to head back to Portland, there's still going to be about 5 million things that I wanted to do while I was here, non-Olympics related, that I didn't get to. So I will say I am listening to Jessica. I want to make it back here, too. Maybe in the summertime when it is even more beautiful, guys. Back to you.
But what an experience. Bravo. I know that's a hard
great
job. Cassidy, thank you.
All right, Rod, let's start with what radar today. Some flurries out there already.
So disappointed. Cassie just doesn't look very cold in her shots. Here we go with the radar. If she was here, she would look colder. Radar is showing light snow flurries around the area. Not getting any reports of this being a concern. I think all this kind of white pinkish color is, for the most part, just flurries. We do have reports. I just put it on my KGW Rod Hill Facebook page. Ocean Park has a good dusting of snow up on the Washington coast, where it's snow, not rain. How about that? So again, you're going to see some flurries as you step outside this morning. Snow likely to pick up and start to accumulate this afternoon and this evening. Weather Service has us under a winter weather advisory for the PM hours. This looks like if you're traveling north, if you're going to Seattle today, for example, you kind of drive away from the weather. In fact, maybe only flurries in the Kelso-Longview area. But then you get into Clark County, you get into Portland, the snow starts to pick up. I've got downtown Portland in the 2 to 4 inch zone right now. We think especially getting south of downtown, we could see 5-inch amounts, or maybe even a 6-inch amount somewhere out in the eastern sections of Marion County, for example. And of course, all this sets up a really bad afternoon commute with accumulating snow taking place. So again, if you can maybe work this morning, go home at lunchtime or at least be home by mid-afternoon, that's probably a pretty good plan. Well, I think we will be getting above freezing into the lunch hour today. And as the snow picks up, temperatures will fall back down to that freezing mark. So out the door, it's freezing. ODOT has been out with their de-icing trucks. I noticed that de-icing liquid on the streets when I was driving in this morning. But really, the temperature is not a concern outside of that. We're 31 in Kelso right now. It's really cold out east this morning, 12 in Bend, 5 in Burns. Forecast numbers, partly cloudy to sunny skies east of the Cascades, highs in the 20s out east, about 36 in Madras. Not sure if we get up to 40 here up and down the I-5 corridor or not. The coast, not sure if they make it to 40. Remember, the coast actually has some snow falling right now. Up on the mountain, by the way, if you're going, I think during the daytime hours, it's increasing 1 to 3 inches of snow, but then higher amounts accumulate after dark tonight. Only in the teens again at Timberline and at Mount Hood Meadows. Government camp up to about 25 degrees, 7-day forecast. So the snow is over tonight. Tomorrow's dry, a little bit of snow maybe Thursday morning. This is all rain. The weekend, we stay above freezing at night. That's my good news. Mr. McGinnis, do you have good news?
Well, the drive is still in pretty good shape, so I guess that is good news. If you look live right now at our Sylvan camera, I think you'll be able to see some of the snowflakes here falling at Skyline Boulevard. Very, very light stuff. The road's obviously wet from the de-icer that PBOT and ODOT have put down on Skyline and on Highway 26, but obviously, we're keeping a close eye on that. I do want to let folks know if West Commuter Rail is part of your morning drive. This in from TriMet earlier today. Because of construction, West service may be delayed up to 15 minutes throughout the morning drive. Ladies?
Chris, thank you. Well, today in our Good to Know series, we are talking jobs. You might soon notice some changes in your office.
So there are 3 trends that will dominate this year. First up, younger people will fill more leadership positions. Generation Z college graduates are starting to enter the workforce. They're the age group born after millennials. Surveys show that a majority of Gen Z like continuing education. They read, they take courses on their own to learn new skills. They also tend to want more job stability. You know, millennials get the rap of just being job hoppers, but not Gen Z. Employers may offer them growth opportunities to keep them around.
Another trend, working remotely or from home. More and more people say having this option, this flexibility, is a must-have when taking a job. Some companies are figuring out ways to make that happen.
And finally, robots and artificial intelligence hit the office. Experts say technology can take care of at least 1/3 of the work in about 60% of the jobs. Big companies like Amazon, Apple, and Uber are investing a lot of money into this tech.